And I dropped my phone. Let's see, where is my phone? Okay, I think we have success. Okay, it is there very much on Facebook. So this is very good. Let me just mute this channel here. And I'll offer my obeisances. And who joined us just now?
Shraddha-devi Mataji.
Shraddha-devi Mataji, did she not join a few minutes ago? I thought she was.
No, I just saw her name.
Oh, okay, maybe she was having technical troubles. Okay. All right. Happy. So now that Sukamala-devi Mataji is here.
Welcome back, Shraddha Mataji. I started so early and I somehow couldn't connect.
No, I was also installing. I didn't realize that I had a new laptop and it didn't have Zoom installed on it. So I started Zoom from the browser, but it forced me to install. So I think in that process you got, and then everybody was pushed to waiting room by default and all that. But anyway, I'm glad that we all are here. So we will get started and continue from where we left off in our studies of the Bhagavad-gita.
But do you want to give us a brief, at least summary of your yatra before we start?
We want to hear that.
Summary of the yatra.
Yeah.
Varsha Mataji can tell you the summary of my yatra because I was hardly there.
You were hardly there?
Most of the time I was behind the scenes, yeah, as organizing it. But yes, I mean, we started in Jagannath Puri. And this time we had quite a few devotees who arrived a little ahead of time. Jagannath Puri is austere place, city, as well as the hotel. But we had some fun times. Guru Maharaj gave us some extra, chores to do to beautify the place. So we had lights and all that. He said, I want it to be festive. So I think, yes, it did end up being a very festive place. If you watched it on Facebook, you will see that. So Jagannath Puri, we go to Jagannath Puri, of course, because there's Jagannath is there, but also because a part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita section is related to Jagannath Puri, because after taking sannyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went down, saw Jagannath Puri, and down all the way up to Kerala. And so he did spend about 6 years of his life here. And this is where we have pastimes like how he converted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya from an impersonalist to a bhakta. And so we did go and visit Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home. And it's interesting that it was in that place that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted him. And that was also the place where we discussed the famous Atrama verse, and where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him 19 different meanings of the Atmarama verse. Atma Ramasya Munyo. It is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And so one of our godbrothers actually got initiated at that place. So that was very nice. Jagmohan Das. So he's from France. So that was a beautiful thing. And then of course Gambhira, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to stay, and in solitary, and they used to lock him up because he used to run away in the night from separation, and they used to lock him up in the room, but he used to get out of the room to everybody's surprise. And so we went also to Gambhira. There's also a very beautiful temple with a very beautiful story, where we have it's called Tota Gopinath. Tota basically means a garden. It's a garden of Gopinath. So there we have Gadadhar, who was, among the Panchatattva, right? You say Gadadhar, Gaur Gadadhar and all that. So we have, so Gadadhar used to worship the deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world at a young age of 48. And wound up his pastimes, but Gadadhar stayed on. He was still 70, and we know Gadadhar is the incarnation of Radharani. So Gadadhar was feeling a lot of separation because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left, and because of old age also, it was becoming very difficult for Gadadhar to worship not worship the deity, to dress the deities, because you have to stand. I mean, even you see the deity that we have at our place. in ISKCON Silicon Valley. It's not a very tall deity, but to dress the deity is a difficult thing, right? You have to stand on stool and all that and do that. And so one day Gadadhar complained and said, I'm getting very old. It's getting very difficult for me to worship you. And the next day when Gadadhar opened the curtains, the deity was sitting down. So that's the extreme to which God can do for his devotees. Krishna will do to his devotees. So you in that you see the picture of, in that you see the deity of the Gopinath sitting down in the sitting posture. There's also Balram is also there. There's also pictures of Radharani, where just by depicting the separation from Krishna, that pastime. So because of they are thinking so much about Krishna, that they acquire the characteristics of Krishna. So instead of showing of being in golden color, you see Radharani in dark Shamvarn color over there. So we went, we then there, of course, we can't go to Puri without visiting the Siddhabakul, which is the place where Haridas Thakur used to do the worship. And they used to do his chanting. So there's a very nice tree over there, and which is said to be a transcendental tree. It's interesting that if you look at the bottom part of the tree, which they have put in a glass case, the tree is completely hollow. You don't see, and like normally inside a tree, there'll be tubes that carry all the water up to the tree. But this tree is completely hollow. And then it's a very tall tree, goes pretty high. And then on the top, you will see there are branches and the leaves and flowers. So it's just like, how is this tree being fed when there is nothing, no tubes that are going up the tree? So there, of course, it's a transcendental tree. It was touched by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one day we went to Gambhira and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home. One day we went to Turta Gopinath, and also the Bhajan Kutir of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also used to go into the bhajan there for some time in Puri, because of course his father also used to live there. Bhakti Thakur used to live there. So 2 days, and then the third day we went, so Tota Gopinath and the third day we went to Siddhabakul. One day the same day we also went to do Harinam in front of Jagannath temple. There's a lot of construction going on right now, so there were barricades and all that. We're not allowed to do Harinam everywhere, but anyway we were standing one place, and we had very young devotees braving the sun and the heat and everything, and they were non-stop. They were singing the bhajans, and devotees were distributing books, and I don't know how many books Varshana Mataji distributed. She was very active in that. And so one of the policemen got very angry at that, and he asked us to move, and he said, you're blocking you're crowding the place, you're blocking the traffic, you're a nuisance and all that. So we quietly left. We never get into argument with authorities. We left and walked a few meters away and started the kirtan there again. And so there was another policeman, and he came and said to Guru Maharaj that, I know you're blocking the traffic, but I like what you're doing. So please continue to do whatever you're doing. Do the kirtan today. So so we went to that place as well. And then the fourth day we went to the Haridas Thakur's, not the fourth day, but the day before that, we went to a place known as Dandabang Gopinath. It's a very beautiful place. It's beside a river. And that is a place where, again, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see where Nityanand Prabhu had broken the sannyasi danda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so it's a very nice, very beautiful place. We had nice katha over there. We also had a group picture taken there. These places are so beautiful that they cannot be captured in the camera. You have to be there to kind of feel the place. And then the last day we went to the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur and ISKCON temple, which is close by. We had a very nice katha inside the ISKCON temple. And anywhere that you go, ISKCON temples kind of stand out when you compare them with others. And I'm not saying because I'm from ISKCON, but they are conspicuous by how nicely they are maintained, neatness, cleanliness, like that. So it was very nice like that there. So that was our Jagannath Puri. Some of us went to visit the temple in the night, but because white bodies are not allowed, so they are not inside the temple. So visit to the Jagannath temple itself is not part of the yatra itself. So, but devotees did go in the night, and some of them used to go in the morning for Tota Gopinath temple for doing the Mangalarti. The interesting thing about Puri is that these the timings for Mangalarti, etc., are not fixed. It just depends on when the Lord wants to wake up. He'll wake up, and some of the priests know. So there's a lot of magical things in Puri. They also see that whoever there is there in Puri, when people see from the top, everybody has got 4 hands. So one of the things to be careful about when in the dham is to behave
Mataji,
properly.
you all went inside where the Jagannath is there, did the parikrama there?
No.
No? We did there. We can.
No,
go
because
Mataji.
nowadays you are not allowed to, they don't allow to enter that Garbhagriha or something.
Uh-huh.
No.
I did before. I went there.
Yeah. I remember 10 years ago when I had gone there, they had allowed me to go touch the DT. I had touched the DT.
Yeah.
And also
Yes,
walking behind the
Mataji.
DT.
You just
Yeah, but
hold
not
it.
now. Yeah. Now I was like 50 meters away, I think. Yeah. And there was a lot of rush. I just went one
At
night.
that time, there was a devotee from Denver. He's American. So they didn't allow him inside. They allowed us inside. His wife
Yeah.
is
Now they don't even allow you inside, allow non-Indians, even inside the temple. At the temple gate itself, they will stop.
But Indians also, they don't allow inside?
No.
Okay.
Inside that sanctum sanctorium, no. At least to my knowledge, no. At least not as a matter of general thing. Like if you go as general public, unless you have a VIP or something and they allow you to go, that's a different thing, but not as a, like we went there, I mean, the way was carved out, like this is how you walk, and you get out on the left-hand side like that. Yeah. I mean, the Pandas were after Virava Bhav and Renu Bhadika Matajis because they are from Nepal. And he was saying, you're from Nepal, you're not from India, not allowed. So like that. So yeah. So they are strict like that. Yeah. So that was Jagannath Puri, and then we flew to Calcutta. And in Calcutta, it was 1-day tour, but it was very hectic, but very interesting because Calcutta is all about Srila Prabhupada. So we stayed in a hotel close to the ISKCON temple, and that's where, while going for praying at the temple, Vajana Mataji.
There were rooms there, no, Mataji, inside?
Where?
To stay. Calcutta, Mayapur.
Mayapur? No, not yet reached Mayapur, still in Calcutta.
Okay.
So, yeah, so in Calcutta, so we were staying close to the ISKCON temple. And then we went on a parikrama, started very early in the morning. We started with going to the dock from where Srila Prabhupada took the Jalduta. Of course, the Jalduta ship is demolished. It's no longer there. But we could see the dockyard from where Prabhupada boarded the ship and came to USA there. We also saw his birthplace, which has been recently acquired by ISKCON, that area. And the surrounding areas have been purchased by ISKCON and made very beautiful and very neat and clean. Actually, we had very nice prasadam there also, I remember. So he was born under a jackfruit tree, and which would be his mother's area, because ladies went to give birth to the mother's place when they had to give birth. They just go there. So that's where it was. And close to that also, there was a temple where the Prabhupada as a child and his parents, the mom's side, used to go visit. So we saw that. We briefly saw from far the house where he used to stay. We didn't go inside it. We also saw the school, Motilal Seal School, where Prabhupada used to go and where he used to go to study, like that. And where else did we go? We didn't get a chance to go to Bhaktivedanta archive this time because it was pretty hectic. Where else did we go? Oh, we went to Ultadanga, where Srila Prabhupada first met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the exact spot. Again, last time, 2 years ago when I had been there, it was being renovated. And now, of course, it was completely done. Very beautiful pictures. Jagrini Mataji was just like, very happy there taking pictures, etc. Because she's already thinking about the new temple for ISKCON Silicon Valley, because this one is small. So she was taking all that. Yeah, pictures. It was very beautifully neat and clean.
If we go, how will we know all these places and how to go? How did you go, Mataji?
How did we go? We took help from ISKCON Calcutta. So before we go to, when we are planning for the yatra, so we are in constant communication with them, and we keep on asking them, like, So they
That's a good
suggest that these
idea.
are
I
some of
go
the
ahead.
places. There are so many other places also. They keep on suggesting that you can go here, you can go there, but then the time is short because we have only one day. We spend
Yeah,
only
these
one
are
day.
the important places would like to see.
Yeah, his birth,
Okay.
where he met Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his archive. There's also Gaudiya Mutt. Yeah, Gaudiya Mutt, which was established by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like that. So yeah, we also went to the temple where Prabhupada used to go as a small child. His family used to go to the temple every day, so he used to go first when he was in a stroller, baby stroller. He used to go there with his cousins, so we saw that place also. So that was Calcutta, and then we took the bus to go to Mayapur. And yeah, Mayapur was cold. Calcutta was cold too. Puri was also colder as compared to previous years, but not that bad because hot Puri is not good.
Not this cold though, not like here.
Yeah. Compared to Indian standards, yeah.
Mm.
And so Mayapur, yeah, we went to four days. We went to Mayapur. We always start with Yoga Peeth, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. We saw the neem tree underneath which he was born. Srila Prabhupada was born under a jackfruit tree, and he was born under a neem tree. That's why he's called Nimai. Then we have. So we went there to Yoga Peeth, and there are a couple of places that we visited. There's a Radha Giridhari temple, very beautiful. We also saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Samadhi. We also went to Shiva's Angan, the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have the secret kirtans in the beginning of the movement with Shiva's Pandit, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of pastimes over there of how a woman wanted to join. This is only for the close people very close to and real pure devotees of Lord with whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have the kirtan. So one day he sat there and the kirtan started. And he was like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. So people were like, I don't know, what's the reason? He said, no, somebody odd is here who should not be here. And so they kept on looking here and there, they couldn't find. And then they realized that, I think Shivas Prabhu's mother-in-law wanted to be part of it. So she came and hid behind a basket and she was participating. So she got thrown out.
She's not supposed to go?
She was not supposed to. She was not at that level. So she got thrown out.
Okay.
Then there was another time also the same thing happened and they came and found out that there was a brahmachari. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, he's not ready. And they said, no, he's a brahmachari, he drinks only milk. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, babies also drink only milk. That is not a criteria for being a devotee.
Okay.
Very interesting thing. Yeah. Also during one of the kirtans, Shiva's Pandit's son died.
Oh.
And Shivas Prabhu did not say anything because he did not want to break the kirtan. And it's only after the kirtan was over that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know. And if I'm not mistaken, he brings him back to life like that. So interesting place. There, the kirtan is always most ecstatic for the yatra. We reserve a big amount of time and people do a lot of kirtan there. So we did that. And then, so that is day number 1. And then day number 2, we went to Navdweep. So there are nine islands. So one of them is Navdweep Island. So we went to the Navdweep Island where there is Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. So Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu will be particularly of interest to those from ISKCON Silicon Valley because the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we have in ISKCON Silicon Valley is Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. The difference between this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and others is that the Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, the hands are like this, blessing others, whereas most of the places you will see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hands are like that. So Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu, this was a deity that his wife used to worship when he took sannyas. After he took sannyas, she used to stay there, and she was living such an austere life. She was 16 years old. She was leading such an austere life that she would chant the rounds, and for every round that she chanted, she would take 1 grain of rice and keep it aside.
Yeah,
as many rounds as you chant. How many rounds can you chant in a day? Right, rounds. So that many grains of rice she would cook and eat and then not eat anything at all. So in the area in which the Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu is located in Navdweep, there is also a very nice shop where people purchase their deities. So Manjula Kantha got her Dhameshwar Mahaprabhu. So when she brings it to ISKCON Silicon Valley, you can see her At least she'll share some pictures that she was busy getting the clothes stitched and things like that. So like that. Then we also have Jagannath Das Baba's Samadhi. We also saw that, Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi by the river. So we took a boat to go there. And then next day we were back to Shantipura. Shantipura is a place where Advaita Acharya prayed with tulsi leaves and water and prayed that the world is becoming so bad and prayed for Vishnu to take incarnation, and that's how.
These are all in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhyalila and Antalila. These stories are there. Is that right, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Recently we were reading.
Yeah. So he called, invoked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take birth. So once his prayer was rectified. Another thing very interesting is that Srila Prabhupada used to visit Shantipura, the temple there, and he used to pray. He used to pray that whatever his spiritual master wanted him to do, that he be able to fulfill that. And he used to go there every day and pray. Sometimes he would cry also. And then he stopped coming there. Then a few years later, somebody else came to that temple with a Back to Godhead magazine in his hand. And that devotee was also worshipping. Then the priest of the temple came and said, on the Back to Godhead magazine, there was a picture of Srila Prabhupada. So the priest recognized him and said, hey, this person used to come to this temple every day, and sometimes he used to cry, sometimes like that, he used to pray every day. And now he stopped coming. So that's when the devotee told him, well, you know what? He's in America and this book is being published. This magazine is published through his guidance. So yeah, the Shantipur is a place where you can pray and ask for, success in any of the devotional campaigns and projects that you have. The Prabhupada was successful there. And then the last day we again went to cross the river, went over to the other side, and we visited the place where Bhakti Vinod Thakur used to live. Yeah. So from there, we can see the window from where he used to visualize and say that, where he said 100 years later, a warrior will come, a devotee warrior will come. He had predicted the arrival of Srila Prabhupada. And he had also said that I can see a very big temple. And now if you look back, you can see, if it's not foggy, you can see the temple of Vedic Planetarium coming up there. So these people have nice vision. Every day in the evening, whether it was Puri or whether it was Mayapur, we used to have classes by Vaisheshika Prabhu. And Mayapur was also particular that in the morning we used to have in the one of the buildings where we were staying, most of us were staying, we used to have our own morning program. So we used to have starting from Guru Puja, starting from Mangal Aarti, and then Japa Circle, and then Guru Puja, and then Srimad Bhagavatam class, like that, and then take breakfast, and from there only go to Parikrama, start the Parikrama like that. So that was the yatra.
It took us to all the places.
I'm forgetting the place where Srila Prabhupada was born. Can you give me any idea? I mean, where? I mean,
well, where we had breakfast. In the morning when we went by bus and we went and had breakfast.
Yes, Mataji.
You were sitting.
Okay, that was the place.
Yeah. Where there is a jackfruit tree.
I was sitting on the chair.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a jackfruit tree there, and there's a jackfruit tree. And then last time when I saw, there were jackfruits on that tree, and now they have made all nice pakka thing, and they were offering actually flowers to exactly that place. There was a deity of Prabhupada, a picture of Prabhupada, and they were offering prayers. The priests were doing that. You remember where we went inside and you took the chappals into the bathroom? You remember that place? You and I were there.
What did you say, Mataji?
You remember we took the chappals inside? There was a bathroom which was flooded with water, and they were
yes, Mataji.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was nice. Specifically as we were going through, because it was early in the morning, we first went and saw the dockyard from where Jaluta was taken, and then we proceeded to the place where Srila Prabhupada was born. So it was still very early in the morning. So we left the bus and then we had to walk all the way to go to the place where Srila Prabhupada was born.
Yeah.
And Toliganj, I think is where it was.
Yeah,
And then,
totally good. Radha Madan Mohan
yeah,
temple.
temple. Yeah. So we went there, and so it was very nice because we were all doing kirtan, and we could see that people on either side of the road were still sleeping. And as they were doing the kirtan, I was just reminded of Jeev Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, that one. So it was like, yeah, see, those who want to get up are already up early in the morning, dressed, and already going to the places of pilgrimage where people are just sleeping in their home. So, it's a nice metaphor there.
When we went to Calcutta temple. From there, we took the bus to Mayapur. That's what we did, and we didn't know anything at that time. So we would have gone like that, so ask somebody to show all these special places.
Yeah. It's always nice to go to pilgrimages with your spiritual master.
That's
Otherwise,
true.
it's a different eyes with which you see the dham when you go there.
Mataji.
If we go on our own, there's hardly anything to
Not
decipher.
that
When you go there,
not-
we'll see that it will come down. We'll say, now, what is there to eat? And where can I shop? And what I have to bring back for people at home. And the time goes like that.
By
But
the
if you
time
have a
I
special
came
master,
to know that you already went for this thing. That's
how
what.
did you come to
I
know
don't know how
so
I
late?
didn't know.
Yeah, because I've been sending emails since July.
I don't know. I didn't
And
know.
reminders.
I don't know. I asked Sutapa mother. I said,
No,
how?
Sukomal, so that your daughter also gets the emails.
I don't know how I missed it.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
Tell
when
her
they
to remind you
class,
next week.
I asked Sutapa. She said, no, they are all gone to India.
Yeah. Our yatras are pretty well geared. I mean, we really take care of those who are a little elderly. That every place we go for parikrama, we carry chairs with us, so that people can sit and listen to katha, because Vaisheshika Prabhu is not just about seeing things in the dham. Dham is more about whenever you go to the dham, you should be listening to Hari Katha in the dham.
Yeah.
That should be the mood. So there is katha everywhere. He will have katha and kirtan. And so they are there. And so Jagrini Mataji was also there with us, and Aknath Prabhu. And after that, I remember a couple of years ago from Mayapur and from our yatra, then they went on their own to Vrindavan. And from Vrindavan, she called me and said, I'm missing the chairs. Because, it becomes very difficult to sit on the floor, stone floor, knees are
I
hurting.
cannot sit on the floor too, Mataji.
Yeah, so that.
And walking too much also, I am a slow walker. So that will be the problem.
Yeah.
Like
And for those who can't walk, we arrange for rickshaws, the things like that, wherever there is a do that. Yeah. So.
It was very comfortable, Mataji. On the whole, the arrangement was wonderful.
How did you walk
everything as such?
Vashana Mataji, you walked everywhere?
She was all over the place
had
distributing books. So definitely some places I definitely saw her walking. But wherever, if it was too long a walk, we used to say, get an auto or something like that would arrange. Yeah. Autos were difficult to get in Mayapur sometimes, so even if they had to walk. Some places auto cannot go. Like if you're taking a boat, then some little distance you have to walk. Yeah.
And Mataji, that was the place which was very wet, where Srila Prabhupada used to go and offer his prayers as a child.
No.
Very wet.
No. Very wet was where the temple that he used to visit as a child. Temple, not offer his prayers. Offer his prayers was
temple.
Shantipura. Yeah, the place that was there was the temple that was very wet was because the owner of the temple had died. And so once you take the dead body out, then you put water on everything, right? So they had put water on everything.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, and I was just thinking that how glorious that person's life was, that he spent his whole life taking care of a temple. I mean, how good is that, right? And then not only any temple, it was the temple where Srila Prabhupada used to visit. And I was just thinking that imagine that the day you die, a team comes from all over America, all the way from America, and sings kirtan in your temple. So how Krishna arranges these things is just amazing. How Krishna really takes care of his devotees.
And Mataji, tell that also that there is you can go to the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made the tunnel that you can reach the Jagannath Puri temple.
Yeah. So when we are at Jagannath Puri, when we do the worship of Krishna, Lord Krishna, it's done like Jagannath, it's done like with really proper care and attention. For example, they will cook a lot of food. They will offer the rice to Jagannath, and somehow the priest knows that Lord has taken it or not taken it, because Lord speaks to the priest through the heart. And sometimes like Lord didn't take it, so tons of rice will be thrown away.
Thrown away, yeah.
Lord didn't take it, like that, right? So they're very particular. Or when they are taking the rice to the dog,
Smells also. That's why they
if a dog sees it, they are like that. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a priest, and at the Jagannath Puri temple. So and his home is close to Jagannath temple, but still, there are roads to cross. So the stray dogs, etc., are there. So you should not be touched or looked at upon by a dog before you go and worship Jagannath. He was a priest. So what the priest used to do, it was a common thing, is that from their home to the temple, there would be an underground tunnel,
Yeah, they will yell, they'll
there.
shout like anything. We had to stop inside. We cannot go the side also. When they are taking the food, they will just yell like anything loudly, so that nobody should come near that side.
Yeah, they're very, very particular.
They were very particular about that one. I like it. I miss all that, Mataji. I used to go every Sunday. I used to go to Puri, Jagannath, from Cuttack. And he sent me this far. Now I don't know whether I can see again in my lifetime. Mayapur and Puri.
Just keep a desire in your heart. It'll happen.
I have the desire. I want to go, Mataji.
Yeah. Keep the desire going. It'll happen.
And when
Thank you so much, Shraddha Mataji. For a while, we thought we were there with you.
I'm feeling.
All right, so let's now go to the battle of Kurukshetra. Battlefield of Kurukshetra, and be there. Okay, what do you say? Bhagavad-gita, verse number 4.440. 440. What do you say?
How come I put
440?
440. Yeah, 440.
440.
Confirm.
Okay. So on this new laptop that I have, there'll be some software that'll keep popping up, and I'll have to remove that. Okay. And 440 is correct for 500 points.
Yeah.
So Tapa opens her annual account with 500 points inside it. Okay. So let me start sharing the screen. I'll go back to one verse prior so that we have a connection. So we were so in the previous verse we saw that he's saying Shraddha val labhate jnanam tatpara samyatendriyaha jnanam labdva param shantim achirenadi gacchati. So he's talking about Shraddha val, right? So one who is faithful man is dedicated to transcendental knowledge, and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace, right? So one of the things that is important to keep here in the mind is dedication. Whatever we are doing in devotional service, the dedication has got to be there, right? So this is what we said, right? So he's talking about a faithful man, right? He's dedicated to attaining spiritual knowledge. He's trying to control his senses, and then he now becomes eligible to achieve this knowledge, right? He gets the adhikar. And once he gets the knowledge, then he will be quickly elevated to supreme spiritual peace, because now he's no longer bothered by Maya. So that is one who's a faithful man. Now, today's verse is a different verse, and we'll start after these prayers to the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun militam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So now he's talking about Agya. Agyascha Shraddha-dhanascha. Samshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayatmanaha. Ajnanascha Shraddha-dhanascha samshyatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayatmanaha. Very important words here. Agyana, and now look at the beauty I'll tell you in the second word. Agyanaha, a fool who has no knowledge in standard scriptures is agyanaha. He has no gyan, right? If you don't have knowledge of the scriptures, you can be a PhD in anything in the world, but you are still a agyani because you don't have the real gyan. So the real knowledge and the real pursuit should be of the scriptures. And ashraddhana, right? So here there was cha shraddhadhanas cha. So one might think this to mean agyanas, cha means and then shraddhadhanas means those who have shraddha, and cha and, right? So one might think that we are talking, that we are saying that those who are fools and those who have got faith, shraddhadhanas, right? But here in the Sandhi Vichhed, you see how Srila Prabhupada is explaining this very nicely. So this is cha, right? And you notice over here, this is a with a bar on top of it. So cha is the simple cha. So this is not simply cha plus shraddhadhanas, it is cha plus ashraddhadhanas. The a is coming from here. So this a and this a have combined and become a with a bar. So ashraddhadhanas, he's saying that a fool and ashraddhadhana. Who is a ashraddhadhana? A one who is without faith in the revealed scriptures. Cha also, samshaya, doubts. Atma, a person. The word Atma can mean mind, it can mean the soul, it can also mean a person. Vinashyati, falls back. Na, never. Ayam, in this. Loka, world. Asti, there is. Na, nor. Paraha, in next life. Na, not. Sukham, happiness. Samshaya, doubtful. Atmanaha, of the person. Okay. So, what is the Sanskrit for doubts?
Samshaya.
Samshaya. Samshaya. So keep that in mind. Samshaya. It's important here. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But ignorant and faithful person. So why is he saying ignorant? Because why is he using the word but here? Because in the previous sentence he's talked about Shraddha labhate, right? So in the previous verse he's talked about those who have faith, Shraddha. But now he's saying but those, now he's comparing the two, he's saying, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness, they fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. How powerful is that? Purport. Out of the many standard and authoritative revealed scriptures, the Bhagavad-gita is the best. Persons who are almost like animals have no faith in or knowledge of the standard revealed scriptures. And some, even though they have knowledge of or can cite passages from the revealed scriptures, have actually no faith in these words. And even though others may have faith in scriptures like Bhagavad-gita, they do not believe in or worship the personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna, personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Such persons cannot have any standing in Krishna consciousness. They fall down. Out of all of the above mentioned persons, those who have no faith and are always doubtful make no progress at all. Men without faith in God and his revealed word find no good in this world, nor in the next. For them, there is no happiness whatsoever. One should therefore follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. Only this knowledge will help one become promoted to the transcendental platform of spiritual understanding. In other words, doubtful persons have no status whatsoever in spiritual emancipation. One should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. Om Tat Sat. What did you hear?
That Krishna consciousness is not for people who are doubting all the time.
Okay. And good. And what happens to such people?
Fall down.
What about their happiness?
There's no happiness in
There's no
this
happiness.
world, next life, no.
Or in the next life, like
Yeah.
that, right? So basically what they're saying is that have faith and don't have doubt, right? But we do have doubts. So Bhagavad-gita actually starts with a doubt. What is the doubt Bhagavad-gita starts with?
Then has all kinds of
Arjun, whether he should fight or not.
Is that what you were saying, Vindhyavali?
who we are? Is a
You are
doubt.
on mute, Vindhyavali Mataji.
Yeah,
Okay.
Arjun has doubts from the beginning.
Okay.
And
Arjuna has doubt from the beginning. So Tapas says we have doubt who we are.
yeah, soul or body, and it is sorry.
Okay. So we have doubt.
Arjuna has a doubt that I will be killing, whereas
Okay, Arjuna
the
has a
soul
doubt,
never
right?
dies.
Right.
He has the concept
Right.
of the body. So that is
Right. Actually, the Bhagavad-gita starts with that. You're right. But actually, the Bhagavad-gita starts with a doubt right in the first verse of Bhagavad-gita. And what is the first verse of Bhagavad-gita? Who's speaks the first verse of Bhagavad-gita?
Dhritarashtra
What does it say?
to Sanjay. Dharam kshetre kurukshetre samveta yujutsva pandavaha
Mamuka
nikam kim kurvat Sanjaya.
Kim akurvat Sanjaya. Yeah, so where is the doubt there?
Kim akurvat Sanjaya. Dharam kshetre kurukshetre samveta yujutsva mamaka pandavashchiva kim kurvat Sanjaya.
Kim akurvat.
Kim akurvat Sanjaya. He's asking Sanjay, no, Mataji, that in the battlefield, my children and Pandu's children are assembled to have fight, and he had a doubt, Mataji, that in the purport I read, Mataji, that they should not come to any treaty kind of a thing. And they should fight. There should be no.
But what was the basis of it? What was the reason that he started doubting? What was the reason?
He should not. My sons should not compromise on the thing.
But why did he doubt that his sons would compromise? His sons had not been compromising all along, right? They had displayed all kinds of, dirty tricks, dirty things they did, right?
Yes, Mataji, he had a doubt that it is a place of pilgrimage, and the effect of it will be on the Pandavas and not on the Kauravas.
His doubt was that the effect of the pilgrimage place, that it will be on the side. So he was doubting whether his sons will win or not, whether they'll win the war or not, because this is a place where the denizens of heavens come and do their worshipping, right? So that was the doubt that was arising. And then, of course, Arjuna's doubts start coming a month later, right? So in which chapter does Arjuna really start putting across his doubts?
Second
chapter.
Second chapter full of doubts only.
Full of doubts only, is it?
I think so.
How full is second chapter of doubts?
No, the second chapter is not only full of doubts. Krishna is also telling Arjuna. It's like he's summarizing the whole Gita in the second chapter.
He's asking questions, no?
Yeah. So what does chapter 2 start with? What does chapter 2 start with?
Contents of the Gita summarized.
No. What does it start with?
Mataji, he keeps his bow and he keeps his bow and arrow down in the first chapter end, and the second chapter, you see, he's asking. Means his doubts are there, and Krishna, in the 7th shloka, I remember that.
What does it start with? I'm asking about
I surrender myself.
I'm asking about shloka 1. What does chapter 2 start with? That's my question.
Sanjay starts.
Sanjay Vacha.
Sanjay Vacha.
I said it right in the beginning, Shraddha Mataji. Sanjay Vacha.
Sanjay says what? Sanjay Vacha is not sufficient. Tell me.
He sees that Arjun is very depressed and his eyes are tearing up, and that's why he puts his bow down.
There's no talk of bow.
I mean, he sees him depressed and full of tears.
But what is the main thing about the first part, very opening of chapter 2? If you were to say, what happens in the opening of chapter 2, you will say, Krishna scolded Arjuna. Arjuna was speaking all the time in chapter number 1. Krishna was quietly listening, right? And then in chapter number 2, he says, what does he say?
When he sees Arjun like
Oh,
this,
that's
then he starts
Madhusudana.
telling him all these
What does he tell? But what does he tell? See, what does he tell? Tell me, what does he tell?
He wants him to kill them.
No, he's telling him that why are you so full of these impurities?
Yeah, kutasva kashmalam idam
Yeah,
vishame
what has
samahasya
got into
nan
you? Why is your
vishinantam.
mind?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a Kshatriya,
So although he's crying and all that, he's not saying, okay, my dear Arjuna, come on my shoulder, let me tap your back. He's not saying anything like that. He's scolding him.
and you're a Kshatriya and you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Verse number
And-
3,
yeah.
Klabyam masma gama partha.
And you don't know the
You're
value of
impotent.
life. You should know the value of.
Yeah, anarajistam aswargyam akirtikaram Arjuna, right? But the klabyam masma gama partha. Klabyam means don't become an impotent. To say that to a man is bad. To say that to a Kshatriya is even worse.
Yes, yes.
So Krishna is being very, very strong, right? And so when Krishna is very strong, then what does Arjuna do? He starts his doubts again.
Again, he says,
Katham bhishmam aham sankhe.
how can I counterattack with arrows and battlemen like Bhima and Drona? How can I kill them?
So he's
So they
having
are
these.
grandfathers and teachers. How can-
Right, right. And then Arjuna always has doubts, right? Throughout the Bhagavad-gita, he's having doubts, right? He sees certain things happening, or Krishna says something and he has got doubts. So doubting actually is a function of intelligence.
Mm.
So it is okay to doubt, because we might just think that here in this verse 4.40, they're saying that, you should not doubt. I should accept everything blindly. But that is not true, right? Blind faith and faith are two different things, right? Blind faith is when you just have faith without knowing anything, and true faith is when you know about it. And so that's why knowledge is very important, to have faith, and the proper faith, and to put your faith in the right object, right? And that is why when we distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets to people, and they are like, this whole volume, how do I read all these 18 volumes? They're overwhelmed. And then we tell them that there is a specific method in which you should read them. And we say Canto 1 and 2, this is like Granth Avatar. It's like an avatar of Krishna. And just as you do darshan of Krishna, we're first looking at his lotus feet, then his knees, then his thighs, then his belly button, then his chest, hands, throat, the face, and then the forehead and the head. Similarly, you will read all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam in that order. And so there's a reason in which we ask them to do that, because all the way up to chapter 8 and 9, we talk about Krishna, the majesty of Krishna, his creation, understanding how complicated this world is, this universe, other universes, how creation actually happens, what is sound, what is ether, what is intelligence, what is mind. All that is explained. And then, of course, we also see the lives of devotees who took Krishna, who took shelter of Krishna, and those who didn't take shelter of Krishna. We see the consequences of all that until we come to chapter number 9, where we start hearing about pastimes of Ramchandraji, right? So all the way up until that, if there are any doubts that we have in our mind about Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those doubts go away. Why? From the knowledge that you acquired in the 9th chapter that we have. And then with that consciousness, then it is a safer way to enter into the 10th canto, where we are talking about the pastimes of Krishna. If you don't know about the almightiness of Krishna, if you don't know how he creates all this, if you don't know the dimensions of this universe, if you don't know that this universe, many, many universes are being supported by Lord Vishnu, who is just a portion of Krishna. If you don't understand all this, then you will never understand how Krishna can raise the Govardhan hill in his pinky finger. You'll never be able to understand that, right? So it's important for us to first understand.
If we don't understand thoroughly up to 9th chapter, then Krishna's Rasa Leela and other things, some misinterpretation it will come.
Will be there.
So that's why up to that point we need to know his Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Right.
Some reasons. Then only we can understand it.
Yeah. So back to my point, where I was saying that so doubt is important. It's a good thing. It's a function of intelligence to have the doubt, right? So the question again is that, how do we compare? One of our acharyas give a very nice example. They say that in devotional service, what do you need? Do you need doubt or do you need faith? Ado Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha tatha bhajana kriya. It starts with faith, right? So then is doubting a bad thing completely? Is it a wrong thing to do, right? So he gives a very nice example and he says that if devotional service is like a car, right? Assume that devotional service is like a car in your devotional journey. And so your service is your car. So if the devotional service is like a car, then faith or Shraddha is the accelerator, or where you press on the gas pedal of the car, right? And faith is the brake. Doubt is the brake. So Shraddha is the accelerator and doubt is the brake. So now when you are driving a car, trying to drive a car which has no brakes is not a good thing, right? It'll just go on in one direction and not stop, right? So whenever we have doubts, we should stop. We should stop and consult. Either consult somebody who is physically present in front of us, a spiritual master, somebody of standing, or we can refer to what we have read in the past, right? So we have seen instances of doubting in the Bhagavad-gita, right? That in the Bhagavad-gita we have it starts with Dhritarashtra doubting. We have talks about Arjuna doubting, right? How can fight? Did Arjuna doubt any further in the Bhagavad-gita? Any other place that you remember? He doubted. Was doubtful about the outcome of something.
And he asked that, how do a person, how does he sit and talk and like that? Is that right?
Well, that's inquisitiveness, right? Doubt and inquisitiveness are different, right?
No, Mataji, in the beginning only the doubt is there, no, Mataji. After that, Lord Krishna starts explaining it to him that he doesn't.
Okay.
Mostly
clarifies his doubts.
And he was doubting.
Okay, so let's look at few verses then here. So let me bring up the share screen. Come on, share screen.
In Karma Yoga also he starts, right, by saying that my intelligence is bewildered. I mean, it's not the same as doubt, but it is bewildered.
He's confused. Yes, he's confused. Now I'm confused by equivocal sentences. Should I do this? Should I not do that? Right? Yeah. But he says that in the chapter 6 of Bhagavad-gita, where Krishna is talking him about yoga of the mind, right? Chapter 6 is Dhyan Yoga. So he's saying, Krishna explains that, and then he says, "Oh Madhusudana, the system of yoga you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the mind." Lord Krishna said, "O mighty arm, son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly." And Krishna actually, many places in the Bhagavad-gita will say undoubtedly, 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 because when words are coming from Krishna, so doubting is good, but unnecessarily doubting the scriptures is also not a good thing, right? We have to at some point in time say that, okay, these are words from Krishna. I might not understand them, but they are coming from Krishna, so they have to be taken properly. And that's why it's very important to preserve the words of Krishna in the proper manner, so that people get the right message and that doesn't get garbled up by the time it reaches us. Right? So like Krishna says, Sardharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshyami ma suchaha. Do not fear. Do not doubt, like that, right? So he says, for one whose mind is unbridled, self-realized, and you will fear when you have doubt. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work, but for he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion, right? Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and does not attain perfection in mysticism? Almighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any spheres? This is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt." So you see, he's going there and he is asking the right person. And so that is how our mood should also be. When you go to the right person, go to your spiritual master, go to Krishna, and then, yeah. And then, well, he will ask all those questions. Krishna will answer all those questions over there. And then we move to chapter number 7 in the Bhagavad-gita, where in the very first verse, Krishna is telling him, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manah Partha Yogam Yunjam Madashrayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yathagya Sasi Tatshunu. So without looking at the synonyms, can you tell me what is the meaning of asamshayam?
Without doubt.
Without doubt, right? Samshaya, is doubt. So asamshayam from our today's words, asamshayam means without doubt. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now here, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free of doubt. Right? So interesting thing is that, and then, so Krishna will tell him this and that, this and that. And then let's go to Bhagavad-gita. I think it is chapter 18. Oops. 18 and verse, I think is 73. Let's see. Yeah. So then Krishna tells him about everything, his opulence of the absolute, devotional service, knowledge, Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, everything, the modes of material nature, division of faith, this and that, right? And then after hearing all that, Arjun says, Nashta moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta sithosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Arjun said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions. And this is the same Arjuna who, in the beginning, as you all pointed out, was saying, Katham bhishmam aham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana, right? So he was saying that how can I pierce with, in this battle, how can I pierce with my bows and arrow? How can I pierce people like Bhishma Dev, Dronam, Kripacharya, who are my respectable people? How can I, use my weapons against them? That same Arjuna 16 chapters later is saying, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt. And I'm prepared to act according to instructions, because by this time, Krishna has understood that Arjuna has understood that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he has understood also, after seeing the universal form of the Lord, he's also understood that he is his relationship with Krishna, that we are. And of course, in 15th chapter also, Krishna says, Mabe vansho jiva loke, jiva bhutas nadana, that you are a part and parcel of me, right? And of course, he says in the 9th chapter, Man mana mad bhakta mad yaji mam namaskuru. Become my devotee, give obeisances to me, worship me. So Krishna says all that, so he understands, and now he's saying, okay, now I will do all that. I will do all those things like that to you, right? So examples also of doubts elsewhere. Elsewhere in the scriptures, we find some interesting places. For example, one doubt comes to the mind of, and I'm just giving examples of how people get doubts and how they reach the appropriate person. One doubt comes to the mind of Narada Muni. Who is Narada Muni's dad?
Brahma.
Brahma, right? So Narada Muni is Brahma's son. So Narada Muni, so Brahma is the creator. He's the only one in the universe, topmost, everything there, right? So, and then one day Narada Muni sees Brahma praying. So he gets a doubt, like, who does my father pray to? What is this, right? So he has a doubt and he asks, and then, Brahma explains that, right? Another example that we see is when Vaman Dev, right? In the 8th canto, when Vaman Dev goes to, who does he go to?
Bali Chakravarti.
Bali Maharaj, right? He goes to Bali Maharaj as a dwarf. And then he asks for 4 paces of land. And then Shukracharya is there and he's
3 pieces, right?
3 steps.
3 steps, yeah.
3 steps, yeah.
3 paces, yeah. Pace, right? Like that.
Yeah.
So 3 paces of land. And so his spiritual master tells him like, no, don't do it.
He's not normal.
He's not a normal one. So Shukracharya has a doubt. There's something bad going on. But Bali Maharaj also has a doubt where he thinks that, is my spiritual master guiding me to the right thing? And then he consults from within. Krishna inspires him. So Chet Guru. So, and we see that in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad-gita also, the Nashashami Atma Bhavo, so Jnanadipena Partat, right? Tesham evanukam partham aham agyanajam tama nashami Atma Bhavo, so Jnanadipena Bharata. Sitting inside the heart also, I will destroy any illusions that you have. So he does that, and then Bali takes the appropriate steps, and he gives everything. And that's why we sing that, Bali Maharaj, by Atma Nivedana, by giving everything that he had, he attained the perfection in life, like that. So there are doubts everywhere. And when there are doubts, so there, and Maya can be very, very powerful. And we hear about, what was the name of the lady who was made into stone? And Ramchandri comes and touches her. Ahilya, right? So Ahilya is so beautiful. And then Indra has his eyes on her. And so when her husband has gone out in the morning to take bath, etc., in the river, Indra comes
like
his husband, right? And starts having a relationship with him. And Ahilya has doubts at some point in time that whether he's Indra or not. And after some time, the doubt is confirmed that he is not my husband, but she does not protest. So you can have doubts, and you could also get an answer, but still, you could go down the wrong path, right? So that's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam Natesha, that this is a world where at every step there is there's a chance of us falling down, right? So when people say that, doubting, he's a doubting Tom, of course, some people doubt all the time. They will doubt everybody and everybody.
That's what I was asking. Too many questions also, it's not good.
Too many questions also not right. Yeah. So these doubts will go away. These doubts will go away by doing devotional service. And my favorite chapter from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Canto 1, chapter number 2, which is Divinity and Divine Service. Let me bring that up here to you. Because there are some very nice verses which will tell you the process on how you get over, right? Now you have talked about doubts. We have talked that doubting is a sign of intelligence. All that is good. But then how do I get over all this?
Mataji, Yamdutas also doubted that they always thought that Yamraj is the, when Ajamil.
Exactly.
Died.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were also like, who are these Vishnu Dutas, right? Are they doing the right thing? Did we do the right thing? How come we were overpowered like that? Yeah. So, but the interesting thing is that, so there is a process. There's a process by which you can overcome your doubts. So remember, doubt comes from intelligence, right? So in the beginning, when things are created, and this is Kapil Dev explains that to Devahuti. So in the beginning, there is false ego is created first, right? And then from false ego, under the various modes, different things get generated. Like there's a mode of ignorance, there's a mode of passion, there's a mode of goodness, right? So under one mode, a particular mode, I'm going to ask you that question. So under one mode, from false ego, mind is created, right? So under which mode do you think mind is created? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance? From false ego, mind is created.
Mode of ignorance, passion.
Yeah, normally we would think passion and ignorance, but the interesting thing is that the mind is in the mode of goodness. Yeah. Our mind, which is constantly generating, thoughts, etc., is in the mode of goodness. Very interesting. And finally, the mind will transcend and become, right? So mind, on the other hand, intelligence is produced from false ego under the mode of passion. And it's the duty of intelligence to discriminate. That's the job of the intelligence, to discriminate between this and that, this and that, this and that. So when the doubts come, it is actually your intelligence that is, taking control there and saying, is it the right thing to do or not? I'm doing this, is it the right thing to do or not? Right? I'm looking at mustard seeds. Should I eat them on Ekadashi or not? The doubt, right? And then you go and consult somebody who's knowledgeable, Guru, Sadhu, Sastra, like that. So the doubt will come from intelligence. Now, so this will be that we've got intelligence. It is good to have intelligence, right? Because without intelligence, you won't doubt. So if a person is doubting, this means they have intelligence, right? And then, so we agree that there will be doubts, and it is good to have doubts, but then too much of doubt is also wrong. And then for Krishna says, Masucha, and then everybody, without a doubt, come to me without a doubt, don't do this, do that, like that, without a doubt, don't doubt, don't doubt, don't doubt. Krishna is saying, don't doubt, don't doubt, don't doubt, but I'm having this intelligence. So how will I have? Because there's one side, there's a doubt, which is a break, and other side, which is the intelligence. So once I know the right thing, then there will be the right thing about Krishna. Once I know the right thing about Krishna, there won't be any need for me to put any brakes on my path, on my journey of devotional service. Right? It's only when you are in doldrums that, should I do this or should I not do that? If you know, if you have the right knowledge, then you'll be able to do that. So there is a process in which you can get freed from doubt, step-by-step process. Where do you think the process starts? What do you think would be the first step?
From faith.
Process? From where?
From faith. The doubt.
Trust is the one. Trust is the one.
Faith will come a little later after the doubts are clear, then you have firm faith. It's a very interesting thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Say that question again, Mataji, once.
So there's a step-by-step process of getting freed from the doubts.
Uh-huh.
And so I was asking, what do you think would be the first step?
You ask questions
Inquiry.
about the doubt.
You ask question about the doubt.
Inquiry.
Inquiring.
Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya. Right? Actually, the answer, the step is in this verse that I just recited. But I'll take you to Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is stated very nicely. And let me see, where is Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter. What's the name of first canto, second chapter?
Prayers of Queen Kuti.
Divinity and divine service.
Divinity and divine service, correct. So let's see. Let me share the screen here. Divinity and divine service. Okay. So starting from verse number 16. Shushusho Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syan Mehet Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. What does it say? O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed of vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So what is the first step?
What, hearing, listening to Vasudeva.
What is the first step?
Hearing to Vasudeva.
No,
What is the first step?
You serve the devotees who are freed from serving.
That is the first step.
Yeah.
That you should learn how to serve the true and the genuine devotees. That is the first step of relieving ourselves of the doubt, right? We didn't expect that answer, right? So,
Sorry.
the servants of God come to propagate God consciousness, and intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. By serving the servant of God, one can please God more than by directly serving the Lord. The Lord is more pleased when he sees that his servants are properly respected, because such servants risk everything for the service of the Lord and so are very dear to the Lord. The Lord declares in Bhagavad-gita 18.69 that no one is dearer to him than the one who risks everything to preach his glory. Can you tell me the name of one person who risked a lot to preach his glory?
Srila
Prabhupada. By serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants And thus one becomes qualified to hear the glories of Lord. The eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering the kingdom of God. So you all have got that qualification because you like to hear Krishna Katha, right? So, Shrushusho Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi. So first you do service, and then you will develop a taste for hearing. Shrinvatam swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridyantastu hi abhatrani Vidhunoti Sruhitsatam. So Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Right? So what we have to do is we have to learn how to listen. To become restless in the contact of women and wealth is not an astonishment, because every living being is associated with such things from remote time, practically immemorial, and it takes time to recover from this fallen nature. But if one is engaged in hearing the glories of the Lord, gradually he realizes his real position. By the grace of God, such a devotee gets sufficient strength to defend himself from the state of disturbances, and gradually all disturbing elements are eliminated from his mind. Right? So first you do seva, then you get a desire, and once you get the desire to hear, then you will hear, right? And what happens when you hear? What is the effect of hearing?
Faith develops.
No.
Cleanses the desire of material enjoyment.
Correct.
No.
So then the material enjoyment, that this desire will go away from your heart.
Oh, okay.
Right? So that is there. And then Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Not 100%. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental song is established as an irrevocable fact. Here is a remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart, which are considered to be obstacles in the path of self-realization. The remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. There are two types of Bhagavatas, namely the book Bhagavata and the devotee Bhagavata. Both the Bhagavatas are competent remedies, and both of them or either of them can be good enough to eliminate the obstacle. A devotee Bhagavat is as good as the book Bhagavat. Why? Because the devotee Bhagavat leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavat and the Bhagavatam, and the book Bhagavat is full of information about the personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. Bhagavat book and personal Bhagavat as person are identical. Like that, right? Okay. So then we got that. Doubts are clear. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye cheta iterana vidham sitam satve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of the modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Right? And then the last one. Evam prasanna manaso, few more. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangatsya jayate. Thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of this personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. In Bhagavad-gita 7.3, it is said that out of many thousands of ordinary men, Manushanam Sahasratu, right? Kechit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam, right? One fortunate man endeavors for perfection in life. Mostly men are conducted by the mode of passion and ignorance, and thus they are always engaged in lust, desire, hankerings, ignorance, and sleep. Out of many such man-like animals, there is actually a man who knows the responsibility of human life and thus tries to make life perfect by following the prescribed duties. And out of many thousands of such persons who have attained the success in human life, only one, may scientifically know about the personality of Godhead Krishna. In the same Bhagavad-gita 18.55, it is also said that scientific knowledge of Krishna is understood only by the process of Bhakti Yoga. So then we have got there, we have removed our mind has become happy. Bhidyate, this is the important one. Bhidyate hridaya granthis chidyante sarva samshayaha chiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishware. So, which word over here is talking about doubts?
Samshaya.
Samshayaha, right? So, bhidyate, thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated, and when one sees the self as the master, right? So this is the process there, that you will see the self and the master, right? The self, which is ourselves, and you see the master, and then you understand that I am a devotee of the Lord, and I am a servant of the Lord. Just as Dhruv Maharaj, he had gone and he was praying, he wanted a kingdom better than his great-grandfather, Brahma. But then when he sees Krishna, he says, I don't want anything else. I've seen you, because he understood his true relationship with the Lord, right? So here we are talking about doubts about Krishna, right? So doubt about who is Krishna, what is Krishna, is it right to do devotional service, etc. These doubts will go away if you follow this process. What is the first process? Shushusho Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katarchi Syan Mahat Sevya. Mahat Sevya. So you have to do the seva for the Mahat, for the Mahatmas, the great personality. And then once you do the seva, then Shushusho Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi. You will develop a taste for hearing. And then you will hear. And once you start hearing the Krishna Katha, what will happen? Hidya anthasto hi abhadrani. All the bad things which are in your heart will get go away. And then evan prasanna manaso. Then you will start feeling happy. What does today's verse? It's because you're slowly developing faith in Krishna. So once you have faith in Krishna, that Krishna does everything for my good only. So then even when bad things are happening to us in our life, is there anybody in the class to whom anything bad happened?
My granddaughter.
Anything bad happened to you ever? So Komalade Mother is nodding. Everybody else didn't have anything bad happen in their lives?
I lost my husband.
Nothing bad ever happened to you in your life? Everything is going good? Nice? Life is going nicely?
Oh, cannot say like that. It happens. But
Vaishana Matiji fell down, broke her hand. Is that good or bad? Right? Bad
But
happens
in
to
a
us
way,
always.
as you said that your karmas are cleared, so it is better. It is good that I fell.
Right. So you see, we always say that there are bad things happening. If I had not given you that answer, you would have always thought about that I fell down and I broke my hand, right? So that is why knowledge is very important. Knowledge is a very important thing to have, right? So once you have that knowledge, so that's why I'm saying that's once you Sushro Shraddha-dhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi, two things are happening. One is that you're listening to Krishna Katha, you're listening and knowing about how this material world functions. So one is that you're listening to Krishna, so you'll have the qualities come because you're hearing about that, right? So, and the second thing is that your Hridaya anthasto hi abhadrani, the abhadranis are going away, the hankering, all those are also going away. Plus, you're also getting the knowledge. And so once you have this knowledge that whatever happens to me is for my good, then where is there a need for us to be sad? We are sad because things didn't happen the way we wanted them to happen.
We wanted.
Right? So things didn't happen the way we wanted to happen. So then the problem starts over there. Right? So that is why you will become happy. So even prasanna manaso bhakti yoga, Bhagavad, the verse goes on. Bhakti yoga prerita, Bhagavad tattva vijnanam, mukta sangha se jayate, bhidyate hridaya. So then you become happy. And once you become happy, then all the doubts go away. All the doubts, like, is this right? Is Krishna punishing me? No. Krishna doesn't punish. Whatever Krishna does is for my good. So then your happiness is sustained. That's why you will see the sannyasis are happy, right? Those advanced devotees are always happy. Is it that bad things don't happen to them? They do happen. It's like Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, the day soon after he took his sannyas, he was gored by a bull. Can you imagine an old man being gored by a bull? He fell down with
but
a bull.
Sometimes when it happens at that time, you don't think of it that way. It takes time and advancement and listening.
Advancement, exactly.
And devotion. That makes you feel maybe years later that, oh, maybe this was how it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And then also like you said, depends on the advancement.
Thing is,
So a devotee on the other, so devotee, when there is something wrong happening to us, or we are going through a difficult time, then a non-devotee will say, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Let it be over quickly. That was the only thought they will have in the mind. And how can I get over this quickly? Let me do something about it, like that. A devotee, on the other hand, will say that, there's something wrong happening to me. Difficulties are coming to me. What does Krishna want me to learn? It's not that a devotee wants to stay in that condition forever. He will say, Krishna, let me learn whatever I have to learn from it quickly. So he's also asking that situation to be done away quickly, but then he is looking at it from a very different perspective. What is it that I have to learn?
Thing we should take it is, it would have been happened more, but it is gone with less thing. That punishment. That's also a good pattern.
Yes. So then you will get then these comings and goings and bad things, they will not bother you. They will not bother you. You will just be happy in whatever state they are. And that is why in today's verse he's saying that person who is full of doubt doesn't have happiness, neither in this world
or the next,
nor in that other world. Right? Because once you remove all doubts that you have about Krishna, and Prabhupada explains that in the purport, he was in a very different mood when he was writing the purport from what I spoke today. His mood was that he was talking about the Bhagavad-gita as a book. Some people don't have faith in the book. It's just they won't read it. Agyanas cha ashraddha-dhanas cha, today's verse. Agyanas don't know. Ashraddha-dhana, they read, they still don't have faith in the words of Krishna. Right? But Krishna says, Sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarv papebhyo mokshasyami. Right? Tasmat sarvesu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. That you all the time, whatever you are doing, you think about me and then you do it, and then what will that lead to? If you are in the habit of always thinking about Krishna when you are doing everything, then antakale cha mameva snarmuktva kalevaram. That at the end of the time, if somebody leaves his body thinking about Krishna, then he says, without a doubt, he
will come to me.
No doubt about it. So Krishna says that. So that's the.
So first one is doubt and seva, and then what do you say? Listen to Krishna Katha.
Listening to Krishna Katha, yeah.
In order, Mataji, what is that you say?
Sorry.
Vasudeva in order from the beginning,
Yeah. Mahatsevya, serving the Mahatmas. And the next one is desire to listen to Krishna Katha. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. And then Hridayantasto hiya bhadrani vidhunoti. All the dirt in the heart is removed.
Okay.
Right? And evan prasanna manaso, you become happy. And then you have Vidyate hridaya ghantes, all the knots in the heart are removed. All the doubts. No, doubt is like a knot.
So when that remove the, what is that you said? Dirt in the
Abhadrani. Yeah. Dirt in the heart is basically material desires.
Removed. And then what next one is?
Then you become happy.
Yeah, become happy.
And then?
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Then the knot is opened up. And why do you become happy? Because you are gaining knowledge about Krishna. And the more you know about Krishna, the more you can understand your life with respect to Krishna's plan. Because sometimes what happens, we try to do something again and again, and it's not happening. Then we get frustrated. A devotee will think, oh, this was not in Krishna's plan. This is what Krishna is not wanting. Actually, they take a hint from several failures that Krishna maybe doesn't want me to pursue this route in material world.
Well, sometimes I get this doubt, Mataji. Krishna gives the intelligence and he gives the forgetfulness too. So as human beings, so when we get intelligence, when we get forgetfulness, Though we are intelligent, if you forget, what is that? So I don't know what in Krishna's...
Krishna just gives you. Krishna gives you intelligence and Krishna gives you forgetfulness. These are tools that he's giving you, right? But you are the driver. You are the one, you are the workman at the workbench. It's entirely up to you how you want to use these tools, right? And you have a free will how to use these tools, right? Intelligence can also be used in a perverted way, like to create an atom bomb, to kill people, right? Nuclear bomb, like that. Second thing is that when do you get forgetfulness is also driven, like I always say, that this world is situated on desire, right? So if you very strongly desire something, you will forget. For example, if you really wanted to, if you really like something, eat something which is eaten, right? And then you go to a party and it is being served there. And you really like it, the desire is there to eat it, so you'll eat it. And after you eat it, you'll remember like, oh, I forgot to check whether it has egg in it. Or I forgot that my doctor told me not to eat. Or, oh, it is Ekadashi. So Krishna will give you that forgetfulness. Why? Because without that forgetfulness, you cannot fulfill your desire. And until your desires are not fulfilled, you'll continue to be here. So this material world is built to fulfill our desire. So you had the desire to eat, okay, now eat. Like Indra, he was put in the body of a hog and he forgot that he was Indra. He was enjoying in the body of the hog. Without that forgetfulness, you cannot enjoy this material world. Because you are a spirit soul, how can you enjoy this dirty material world unless you get that forgetfulness that I am a soul and get the understanding that I am this body, like that. Meera Mataji.
Oh yeah, Hare Krishna. You had said that when you asked that has anything happened to us, bad or adverse things. So we always ask, what was a devotee would ask, what was the lesson we have to learn in this? And sometimes I don't get a clear answer when I ask that question. And sometimes I feel like, oh, I may be facing my own past karma, that I may have done something wrong. And now I'm facing that reaction from somebody else, which I don't like. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and that's a good way to handle it, right? Otherwise, we'll be so upset when people don't
And yeah, that makes it manageable, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing was like a doubt, how to get over doubts. So by listening to serving the pure devotee, listening about Krishna Katha, and so is it like replacing our material things with a higher taste?
Yes. It's converting that. I mean, there is love. The true love, the only true love is love for Krishna.
Yeah.
And we see perverted version of that love in this world. Right? Otherwise, you see the love of gopis are the same as any of the love that you see in Bollywood, right? The girl runs away with the hero to meet the hero in the desert night. You see that in Bollywood. All the songs of Bollywood or even any of the other songs, romantic songs are there. If you remove the hero's name and you put Krishna's name, everything is fine.
It will become bhajans, yeah.
They'll become bhajans, right? It's perverted though.
Right.
They start putting it to yourself, right? Okay, any other questions? It's 7:30, late in the night.
Are you jet lagged? I know you are.
So I was jet lagged in the afternoon, but now I'm feeling good. Yeah, yesterday I was very jet lagged, but not that much today. Yeah, I came on Tuesday evening, like 5 o'clock, our flight landed. And then I was just thinking Krishna arranges so much. I had the smoothest flights of my life, both going and coming back, all the 4-5 flights that I took. They were all very smooth. Yeah. Actually, on the way coming back to USA, we had a brand new plane. Air India, Tata has purchased a 500 planes. We got a brand new, very highly sophisticated plane. And the staff was so good. I think he's also training the staff. And it was a non-stop flight. We came in 15 hours, 15 minutes or something like that from India to USA, which is really.
And Mataji, they are giving very good service, I believe.
Yes, service was fantastic. And
Fantastic.
till the last hour, I went to use the toilet. The toilet was spick and span clean.
Which was never the case in Air India.
Yes. And I don't know what it was, the city I was flying from or what it was, but Krishna made arrangements. It was very immense because I also saw the stewards who were moving around. Somebody dropped a piece of paper on the floor, on the aisle. He bent down, he picked it up. So, which was something very new to me, so.
How many days were you?
Even in the domestic flight also, Mataji, they are giving very good service. When they asked me, you will eat anything? I mean, they are giving food also now, serving food there.
Yeah, food was also
I
there.
said, no, I don't eat onion and garlic. So, because no, we have Jan food for you. Mm-hmm. So he brought something, a small piece of Jan food, and gave it to me.
Yeah, they were serving water all along. Cold drinks were coming in nice glasses, like made of glass. Yeah, it was very nice. So, yeah, Krishna arranges like that. So, yeah. So once you take to devotional service, then you start seeing Krishna's hands in everything.
In everything.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll just think that, okay, everything that is Krishna arranged, then you'll say, okay, now what will happen if somebody else purchases Air India? What's going to happen to the service? Like that, the mind will be now in doubt and will be unhappy. After getting some excellent service, now you're unhappy because you have the fear that it will get lost, right? So fear is there whenever doubts are there. But then if you have faith in Krishna, that Krishna is going to take care of us, you don't care about the airlines, right?
So how many people went?
Remind you that road will be good. Huh?
How many people went together? You all went together, no?
No.
Everyone went separately.
Yeah. Some went together. Yeah. Few went together. Few, yeah.
That if you leave everything in Krishna's hands, you will find Krishna's hand in everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Very nicely put. Yeah.
Very
and
well
he has
said.
better hands. Yeah. He has better hands. He can manage things much better than we think we can. Yeah. We actually just mismanage.
That's wonderful.
Like that. Yeah.
Very well said, Mataji. Thank you.
All right. On that happy note, on Krishna's hand, we'll take leave. We'll meet again, some of you, on Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Thank you so much, Shraddha Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right.
Nice meeting everybody.
Go Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Dandavat pranams to everyone.
Mataji,
Sorry?
I went for distribution last Saturday. Wonderful, 100 books we did.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing. One little girl, she asked her mom that, can I